All right, welcome to lesson 2. If I asked you right now what your metabolism is, most of you would say something like, how fast I burn calories. And you wouldn't be wrong, but you'd be giving me about 5% of the actual answer. And the other 95%, that's the part that determines whether your GLP-1 protocol makes you healthier or quietly dismantles you from the inside. So let's fix that right now, because what you don't understand about your metabolism will cost you. Your metabolism is not a speed setting. It's not fast or slow. It's the entire collection of biochemical processes that keep you alive, functional, and capable of adapting to stress. And at the cellular level, metabolism is energy production. Your mitochondria, the organelles inside nearly every cell in your body, take the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe and convert them into ATP, which is the energy currency your body runs on. Every heartbeat, every thought, every muscle contraction, every immune response, every time your body repairs a damaged cell, that's ATP. That's metabolism. And here's where it matters for you. Your total daily energy expenditure, the total amount of energy your body uses in a day, breaks down into 4 components. BMR, basal metabolic rate, is the energy your body burns just to exist. Organs functioning, cells repairing, body temperature maintained. This is the big one. It accounts for roughly 60 to 70% of everything you burn in a day. Then there's NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is all the movement you do that isn't structured exercise, like walking, fidgeting, standing, carrying groceries. This is roughly 15 to 20%. And then there's TEF, the thermic effect of food. This is the energy it costs your body to digest and process what you eat. That's about 10%. And EAT, exercise, activity, thermogenesis, your actual workouts. That's typically only 5 to 10%, which is not what I would expect. For only 5 to 10% of your daily energy expenditure, your basal metabolic rate accounts for 60 to 70. So when we talk about protecting your metabolism on a GLP-1, we're primarily talking about protecting your basal metabolic rate. And what drives your BMR more than anything else is lean mass. Your skeletal muscle is the largest metabolic organ in your body. Not your liver, not your brain, your muscle. And I need you to understand what that means in practical terms, not just as a talking point. Muscle tissue is the single largest reservoir of mitochondria in your body. More muscle means more mitochondria, means more capacity to produce energy, oxidize fat, and regulate the chemical environment inside your cells. When you lose muscle, you are literally losing metabolic machinery. You are reducing the number of engines your body has available to burn fuel. But it goes further than energy expenditure. Your skeletal muscle is your body's primary glucose sink. When insulin signals your body to clear glucose from your blood after a meal, the vast majority of that glucose gets taken up by skeletal muscle. More muscle means more surface area for glucose disposal, right? More muscle means better insulin sensitivity. So your body needs less insulin to do the same job. Less muscle means the exact opposite. Glucose has fewer places to go. Insulin has to work harder. Sensitivity drops, and that's the front door for insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. So when I tell you that losing lean mass on a GLP-1 can leave you metabolically worse than when you started, this is the actual mechanism I'm talking about. It's not abstract, it's not theoretical. It is your body literally losing the hardware that regulates blood sugar, burns fat, and produces energy. Now let me walk you through what actually happens when lean mass drops, because it's not just one thing, it's a cascade, and each domino makes the next one even worse. So the first domino, you lose muscle. Your basal metabolic rate drops. Your body now requires fewer calories to maintain itself. Again, that sounds like a good thing, but what happens is you're running a smaller engine, In the second domino, your body senses the reduced energy availability and down-regulates hormonally. Thyroid output decreases, specifically T3, your active thyroid hormone, right? Which is a primary regulator of metabolic rate. Your body is deliberately slowing itself down to conserve energy. This is not a malfunction. This is your biology doing exactly what it's evolved to do when it thinks resources are scarce. Now, the third domino is testosterone production declines. In men over 45, this is already trending down naturally. Add a significant caloric deficit with inadequate protein and no resistance training stimulus, and you accelerate a decline that was already in motion. Lower testosterone means less muscle protein synthesis, less drive, less recovery capacity, and a hormonal environment that favors fat storage over lean tissue. So the fourth domino is growth hormone secretion drops. GH is critical for tissue repair, fat mobilization, and lean mass maintenance. Caloric deficit suppresses it. Poor sleep, which often accompanies rapid weight loss, suppresses it even further. So the fifth domino, with a lower metabolic rate, reduced hormonal support, and less lean mass, your body's defaults shift, right? It becomes more efficient at storing fat and less efficient at burning it. Inflammatory markers rise because adipose tissue, especially visceral fat, is metabolically active and produces inflammatory cytokines. You now have a body that is lighter on the scale, but running hotter with inflammation, colder with energy production, and more resistant to insulin than before. Big problem. And that's the cascade. And every single step of it's preventable if you understand it and you take it seriously. Now, there's an important distinction I want you to understand. Metabolic adaptation is normal. When you eat less, your body adapts by reducing energy expenditure to some degree, right? That happens to everyone in a caloric deficit, regardless of how they're creating it. It's a survival mechanism. It's temporary and it's manageable, especially when lean mass is preserved. But what we're talking about with unsupported GLP-1 use is something closer to metabolic damage, not a temporary downward shift. It's a structural reduction in your body's capacity to produce energy and regulate itself. Because you didn't just eat less for a while, you lost the muscle that drives the system. You lost the mitochondria that powers the cells. You lost the glucose sinks that regulate your blood sugar. And you can't just eat more to get that back. You have to rebuild tissue, and we all know how hard that is. You have to retrain your body to maintain muscle. That takes months, sometimes years. It's profoundly harder to rebuild metabolic capacity than it is to protect it in the first place. This is the most important thing I'm going to tell you in this video. And that's why we don't wait until you've lost 30 pounds to talk about this. That's why resistance training and proper nutrition and a supporting stack start on day one. Not because we're being extreme, but because the math doesn't work any other way. So in closure, metabolism is not a number on a calorie counter. It's the sum total of your body's ability to produce energy, regulate hormones, clear glucose, fight inflammation, and keep you functional. Muscle is the engine that drives it all. Lose the engine and it doesn't matter what the scale says. You're in worse shape than when you started. In lesson 3, we're going to get specific about what lean mass actually is, how to measure it, and what the research says about how much of it people are losing on GLP-1s without proper support. I'll see you there.